Well, I wasn't going to say anything at all today. I was just going to let the scenery speak for itself for once. After all, most of my walking is done in silence. So why should your experience be any different? But I did want to acknowledge some of the folks I met today. The first one was a gentleman named Cole who stopped his tractor to talk to me for a few minutes. And it turned out Cole had always wanted to do an adventure like mine, only he didn't want to do it walking. He wanted to do it on horseback. And it just sounded like a fun, wild adventure that I hope he gets to do someday. And then there were the two women who run the Pittsviille Cafe, where I had a lovely skillet breakfast. And I got to talking to both of them about what I was doing. And one of them actually reached out to me later on social media. She found my Facebook author page and left a comment there. And I really needed that today after yesterday's feeling like, this trip isn't working and I'm not making any connections and so on and so forth. So I had a much better day today than I did yesterday, but the big picture still hasn't changed. I'm still thinking about maybe pushing a little harder, getting done a little bit sooner. But I'm also thinking about the advice of my best friend, who essentially told me maybe I should stop worrying so much about ways to make this trip successful and start focusing on ways to make it fun. And one of the things that's fun for me is telling stories to people. So I'm going to do that over the next few weeks. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm not going to tell it to you all at once. I'll tell it to you a little bit at a time. And it's not my story. It's a poem that I've been working on memorizing. So I'll give you that poem a few stanzas at a time, starting today. The Hunting of the Snark, An Agony in 8 Fits, by Lewis Carroll. Fit the first, the landing. Just the place for a snark, the bellman cried as he landed his crew with care, supporting each man on the top of the tie by a finger entwined in his hair. Just the place for a snark. I've said it twice, that alone should encourage the crew. Just the place for a snark. I've said it thrice. What I tell you 3 times is true.